Good morning. So, 3 weeks and 4 days post total knee replacement surgery. Yeah, I'm a bit brighter today. So, my promise of frequently asked questions, because I was in such a good space, clearly hasn't happened because me and Metal Mickey got an infection. So I'm going to keep this brief because I know everybody's busy. You're doing your last minute shopping for Christmas. We have 5 days to go, and I'm just glad that I'm home and not still in hospital having to get myself sorted. So what happened? Well, I had my staples out, 31 staples. I had them out at the right time, and about 3 or 4 of them were really, really deep. And I was like, oh, God, how are they going to get those out? When I say really deep, I mean really deep. And one of them had come out completely at one side. So that would explain when I was doing my exercises, because you have to bend and straighten your leg, the stabbing feeling that I kept getting. I kept getting like a stabbing feeling when I bent my leg, like something was stabbing me. And I mentioned it to a few people, and I think people get a bit fed up of you. You know, they're around you for a few days while you're poorly, and I think patience weans. And I feel bad if I say, oh, I'm in a lot of pain, or, you know, I can't get down the stairs, or can somebody just carry this for me? Or, you know, I just feel shitty. So, yeah, I didn't make a big point of this stabbing feeling. So I had the staples out, cleaned the wound, the incision, whatever it is, the scar. A new kind of bandagey thing was put on. It looks like a big plaster, you know, like a one that you put on your finger and what have you. I don't mean a hard plaster. And you keep that on for 3 days. Then that came off, and life was good. Life was good. I was doing really well. 120-degree bend on my leg, 100% bend straight. Everything was good. I was in a really good place, as you will have noticed in my last video. And then Mr. Shit met Mrs. Fan. And after I'd been to the physio, within 24 hours, I'd got a very swollen, red, angry, painful knee. And that came from the area where this particular staple had come out. So it clearly hadn't gone in enough when they were closing me up. And that resulted in bacteria getting in because it was open, but you couldn't see it was open because it was very deep. So I'm going to show you. So keep your eyes closed, and I'll tell you when I'm not showing if you don't want to see this bit. Okay. So here, this is an example of where they stitched and they'd done it really deep. So there was where a staple was, and there. So as you can see, they're hidden. Now, I'll put my hand over that bit so it's not too bad. That's another where the staple was really, really deep. Can you see? So you've got a staple on that side and the staple on that side. Now, what this should have looked like is this: staple, 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 staple. Got my finger over the horrible bit. So that and the one there, the one that I've got my finger over, and that one there is where the staples were really deep. So now I'm just going to show the infection that's come from this. So this is actually a lot better. You can see here where they'd marked. Can you see where they've marked? Because this is how big the swelling was, and it went all the way up here and you can see a little bit left because they mark it with a marker pen to see how it's growing. So when I went into hospital, this is where they marked it, and it was all the way around here. So that's how big the swelling was, and it was all raised. So that was all down to staples having potentially not being done correctly. People can now look if they had their eyes closed. So as I say, that was very likely down to staples being too deep or not connecting enough inside. So I've had a bit of a journey. It's been very, very, very painful. Back to not sleeping. So finally my doctor has prescribed me, after 3.5 weeks, some sensible pain relief and strong anti-inflammatory, because I've got a lot of water in the knee joint, which is inhibiting me walking as well as I was. But I've still got a good 120% bend and straight leg. So the surgeon is really pleased. The infection hasn't gone into the prosthesis. If it does go deep, then they have to do a debridement, which is where they have to flush out all the infection. A lot of the time when it does get into the joint, it can really affect what has happened in terms of the surgery, and a high percentage of people have to have it redone. So they have to have it all taken out and put back in again. And when they told me that, I thought I was just going to have a complete breakdown, because my journey has been so shit. So shit. And the pain has been off the scale. So I was just praying and praying, and the thought of it now, I want to cry. I'm getting heart palpitations at the thought of having any kind of surgery. So when I had to go in, it just wasn't nice. It wasn't pleasant at all. And I didn't want to go in, so I probably left it longer than I should have done, because I didn't want to go back into that godforsaken place and go through anything like I've been through. So I've got my fabulous mummy. I'm so glad that I have her. I know a lot of people our age, my age, no longer have the mum or the dad, or even both. And without my mum, I would not have survived this. I can 100% say that. So a big shout out to Sister Bassett, Gabby, Gra. People know her, Gabrielle, as many, many things. But she's my best friend, and she's my guardian angel. She really is. So she's been looking after me since I've been home, and cleaning the wound and redressing it. So I've taken the dressing off today because it was hurting from being asleep. But hopefully I'm on the up, and I will be home at Christmas. I've got some very, very strong antibiotics that make me feel sick as a pig, and the painkillers are giving me this like opiate migraine. So although I was on the up, I still am. I'm still positive. I'm not negative. You can see I'm back in bed. And I was so looking forward to going in the pool, because I was told I was so ahead of the game I could go in the pool. And that was on the 13th of December. They said you can go in the pool and do some water walking and hydrotherapy exercises, and you can go on the static bike, and I was just so excited. I was really excited. And now I'm back in this flipping bedroom. Anyway, I'm thankful I'm here. I haven't got any major illness. I haven't got anything so serious that I won't be here. So a big shout out to all my friends and people who are struggling this time of year. I recently found out somebody that I used to walk Monty with committed suicide. I didn't know that. I found that out earlier this week. So that was, yes, Monty, I know it was Rosie's dad, wasn't it? I know. Rosie was his girlfriend. Well, she still is. So hopefully we'll still get to see her, won't we, Moo? Hey, Rosie. You love Rosie. So it's a really tough time for a lot of people this time of year. So I'm sending lots of love and self-care and enjoy time with family and friends or whoever you might be spending it with. And if you're on your own, try and reach out if you don't want to be to people and let them know. Love you all.